Go away, bee. Get. Hello, my friends. Hope you. The angle of the camera, it's because of the direction of the sun today. It's blinding me if I set it where I usually do. But anyway, I hope y'all are having a good day. This particular video is going to be a little different from normal. And yes, I did get a haircut. Josie was tired of looking at that straggly mess. And she said, come in. She grabbed me and cut all my hair off. Anyway, this video is going to be a little different than normal. For quite some time now, we run into jobs every once in a while where there has to be a certain unique serial number on the pattern when we're molding it. And it adds a lot of frustration to the complexity of the molding already, especially if that casting fails and you have to go back and you have to find out what number that was, put that number back on it, remold the thing. It's really aggravating. And we got a job now. It's a non-ferrous material that we're having to do on a production scale for a customer, and that's requiring a characteristic similar to what I just talked about. That's also requiring a serial number. We're trying to avoid having to do the serial number in the molding process. The customer would be just fine if it was engraved some way. So the company Laserpecker had reached out to us about a month ago and made us an offer on a Laserpecker 3 in turn for an 8-minute video or more. So that's what this is about. We actually put it to the test. We do aluminum, bronze, and cast iron, and we're doing this on the scale surface of each, well, not on the bronze, but you'll see it doesn't matter. This little thing burned in really well. I was pleasantly surprised, and you'll get to see the test coming up. But I didn't want to mislead anyone. I want you to know what this video is about. If you are interested in a laser engraver, I would highly recommend checking out Laserpecker's line of products and see what they have to offer. But anyway, we will get on with the box opening. I just wanted to set the record straight up front what this is and why we're doing it. Hopefully you're going to be as impressed with it as I was at the end of this video. Anyway, we'll talk to you later. And I was wondering about that. I got the Laserpecker 3 suite, which includes the electric roller. And I will demonstrate that as I figure it out in this video. Oh, this is packed really well. Let's see, got the owner's manual. Let's go ahead and take a quick look. Looks like all this is in English. And it's not a 300-page volume, which I like. Okay, so here's our contents. Looks like this is our electrical supply and leads and safety glasses. I don't need that. I've got something else we're going to test with it. There felt like there was something on the bottom side, so let's take a look. And there he is. A ruler. That's probably the base. I am assuming it is. Alright. What's in this little bag? Okay, so that goes in this little window here. I'm not even going to have to look at the manual to put this together, but it never hurts. This is the upper part of the tower, and just looking at this, I can tell that it's going to screw right on to here. And it looks like we only have 2 screws that we need. They give us 3, probably for people like me that lose them. I don't know if I ever told you this, but I am not a lasertrician. This is going to be all new to me. I'll snug them up. You don't want to strip anything out, but I am able to torque them a little bit. All right. And it's got a cover on it. This would be the Lasertricity box. Now the connections here, this is going to be for your power, and then these two are also power supply, not data. This is data. So let's put our cover back on for now. And from here, it looks like that recessed hole will go straight in there. Well, that was easy enough. This thing's fairly light and pretty rigid. So you have two buttons on the side here of this tower. This lowers it, this raises it. You also have fixturing. That would be ideal for repetitive jobs. We're going to go ahead and connect the tower. I'm going to plug this one in right here in the first USB connection. And then from here, it plugs straight into the base of the tower. We'll plug this in there. Okay. So this has two lasers that triangulate to crisscross to focus the Z. And let's go ahead and take our lens cap off. They always point out use the ruler, but at the same time you have two lasers that are crossing, and once they meet, and I'll demonstrate this, you see these two little dots here side by side. Now as I lower the table, they will meet. You would stop it right there. All right, so that, in my opinion, is far more accurate than using the ruler. I don't know. I don't know why they supply that. But we're going to go ahead and send this back to the high position, because I don't know what we're going to test something on here. You can loosen this knob and tilt this at any angle. It's got little positive locks. And we're going to open this. I don't have a case with this, but as long as I put it back up in this box, it's reusable packing and easy enough for me to. And here's the manual for that. So that would be the roller table. Now these rings here, you wrap them around the object that you're going to set on the rollers, and as it's rotating, these will allow it not to slip and lose timing as you're engraving something. This aligns on the base just like that, locks in on it. We had two USB power supplies in the back. I'm going to plug this one into the second one. We're going to start off by doing some basics just by engraving without using the rollers. From there we will progress into the roller table. Also, your glasses. This is to protect your eyes from the Lasertricity. And the manual specifies that you should wear those even when focusing. So we have three different materials. We have bronze, we have aluminum, along with cast iron. We have some customers that require things like not only serialization of the castings, which can be time consuming when you're trying to interchange that and cast the actual numbers. We're going to start off with something much more mild and work our way up as we play with the settings. Let's start off with something super mild like this cardboard box. One of the things this is not good for is white paper or cardboard, but it will cut it. And if you darken it with a marker, if it's like a plastic or a metallic surface, you can take alcohol and wipe it right off. My son Michael said I could just use a dry erase marker for stuff like that. So anyway, this already has a dark background, so let's do a little experiment on a mild condition. I would like to do my logo. So we're going to go to album, and we're going to find, this is just an image, but you can hit invert, and it takes the background away, and you can darken it up a little bit just on bin. And you also have G-code mode. I don't understand it enough to be able to explain that to you guys, but we're going to go with what I have here, and I'm going to accept that. From there, I'm going to go to next, and I want to, let's see, our box, I want our height to be 2 inches. So let's see if it's, alright, so that's going to be a little outside of its parameters. But I can go 1.81. I'm going to lock the scale in place on any of this stuff that you do. I haven't figured out how to skew it. I'm not familiar with that other than getting in the paint software. But we're going to go ahead and I'm going to click, let's see, next. Done. Now let's set our Z first. So I'm going to touch that right there, and like I said, you see the 2 dots. I want to set my focal length on the Z axis with these buttons here, and I'm pretty sure I'm too low. I'm going to hold that button for a second, and then it'll automatically rise. Once those 2 dots meet, I'm going to stop it. Right there. You just hit that same button or the other one, and that will stop it from the automatic mode. We are ready to take the dust cover off. We can cut the automatic focus off. So now I'm going to hit start preview. The answer is yes. Alright. That's how we're going to orientate it. We're going to quit preview. And from here, we're just going to do a 2K. Alright, so it is, and this is the other thing I noticed. Alright, so it just transferred the file to the machine. If, for instance, I walk away from the machine and lose Bluetooth connection with it, it doesn't matter because it's already loaded. You have several different options to choose from. You have photosensitive seal, silicone, plastic, paint coating, metal oxide, copper, aluminum, acrylic, leather, custom, which I have done a lot of the stuff in custom so far, just playing with, but for this, we're just going to go to custom. Alright. Instead of running the laser at 100%, let's change that to, let's change it to 50%. I don't want to catch my box on fire. Make 1 pass, and if that wasn't enough, confirm that. Depth is at 5%, and we're just going to make 1 pass. You know what? Let's go to 10% on our depth. Yeah. Alright, so all I got to do is push start after I put my glasses on, and we will be able to see what happens. Something I forgot to mention earlier when I was pointing out the data port in the back of the box. This is able to connect to a PC, but I've been running it on Wi-Fi to my Android device, and it seems to work just great. You can also connect to iPhone. The app, I really appreciate the app because it does not hang my phone up like a lot of those do. I have some apps that drain the life out of it. This one is pretty much just there long enough to send the file to the machine, and then that's it. If I had slowed the laser down, it probably wouldn't have burned in as much, but honestly, it looks pretty good. Considering I didn't have a setup piece before I did this for a first time run, I'm not complaining. So let's move on to some different materials. So on this one, instead of doing custom for material, it gives us the alloy, which is aluminum. And we're going to confirm that, and it tells us, let's repeat this depth about, let's do this 10 times, and I'm going to increase the depth to about 20. I don't think we're going to hurt a thing. Well, you know, we'll go ahead and go to 25. Confirm. 10 passes, and let's see what happens. Like I said, we're repeating this pass 9 more times. I'm going to wipe this off with alcohol and see how it looks. I'm very happy with that so far. Keep in mind this is a cast finish. And it seemed to burn it in pretty good. And this is a convex surface. It wasn't flat. So considering we didn't have it on the roller table, and it was at one set plane all the way across, I like that. Let's move on to the bronze. And I'm going to do the same thing with it. I'm going to darken it up because it is a shiny surface. So the 2 dots are the focus, and we're probably too high. So let me come down just a little bit. Right there. We'll bump it up just a little bit. And the little square, we're going to try to put that where I scratched in, and that's actually our center display. And we're repeating the same process, except I shrank it down a little bit, which will help with the runtime as well. Now I'm doing 10 passes. When we actually do the QR codes on these certain castings for other jobs, we will, it takes so long to grind and clean them up anyway. This thing can be running this operation while we're doing all that, and it doesn't matter if it takes 20 minutes. Let's wipe this ink off and see what this turned out looking like. Not bad, and you can feel it. Let's see. See if I can. Yeah, the detail is really good. Now I was going to use this piece, but why don't we just go ahead and use one of my straight edges? I have a reject, and what better way to identify it than to mark it? Let's see how well that works. I made a little change on this one. I haven't tried to run it yet. I decided, you know what, let's put the, let's increase the depth to 50% and drop down the passes to 3 times. So it's not really cutting it, it's just oxidizing the layers, I think. And you guys that are laserologists, please chime in and fill me in how that works. Definitely marked it. The aluminum parts are the main ones that we need to be able to engrave on. So as long as it'll do that for me, I'm going to be very happy. Now, I'm not knocking it with a cast iron. We didn't have the settings right. Let me remind you, I cut the passes down from 10 to 3 on the cast iron. I didn't go a full 10 times. I was only at 50%. Maybe I should have tried that at 100. Let me show you some of the things that I did off camera. My pocket knife. I've had this thing since I was 18, and I decided I was going to see what it would do for the carbon steel blade. How is that? It doesn't wipe off. And my Michitoyo calipers. Check it out. And plastics. Yes, this is my OtterBox bracket. When you put it on plastics mode, it just zipped right through there. Of course, I think it only had to make 1 or 2 passes at a very light depth. It also did my QR code. That was in high density wood, and I was playing around. I found this on Google Images, and on this side, I actually was able to put a compass on here. Now, let me tell you guys, this was probably the first time I used it, and I didn't realize how to center it up. So, yeah, I screwed that up. Yeah, now I would have been able to put that thing right on the money, I believe. So that wasn't a fair assessment of what it can do on the scale of cast iron. So I did it again, and I changed the steps, and man, that's on the scale surface of cast iron, guys. So this is the electric rollers in action. I was able to find a cup that's actually an aluminum furnace that's got a coating on the outside of it, which works ideal for this application. I didn't have to blacken it out or anything like that. They recommend any shiny surfaces you black out in some way in order to keep it from damaging the laser. So I find out after this is done that this just happens to be my wife's favorite go-to thermos. And if that wasn't bad enough, the butterfly, which she loves, you know, I did at least get that right, is on 90 degrees off location. I should have rotated the image 90 degrees where it would be vertical to the cup. But as long as she has it at 90 degrees drinking out of it, I don't see what the problem is. So I ran out of time trying to get this video out, but there's a lot of other features that you can use this machine for that I didn't demonstrate. This is one of them where I took the window out and I'm engraving something that's really tall, really high. You can take that little inset window out and you can actually set that on top of things. I didn't do that in this particular situation. I was able to stick it through the hole and support it with popsicle sticks on the backside of the flange. But you get the idea. If you are in the market for a portable yet versatile laser engraver, I would highly recommend you check out Laserpecker's line of products. This particular one I have is the Laserpecker 3. If interested, you can receive $50 off of any purchases over $800, which is good until August the 4th of 2023. And be sure to type in Clark50 under coupon code to make sure you get that $50 off. As I said earlier, I am no laserologist, but I had a ball doing this video. I hope you guys have a good day, and even though I don't know half of this stuff, I'm learning as I go. And I will keep you updated as we use this on other materials in the future. One more thing, if anybody has one of those purple thermoses laying around like I did the butterfly on, would you send that to me? I'm not going to hear the end of this till I get that fixed.